Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And the other day I did a video on WWE 2K15, and I talked about the fact that it lacks a lot of stuff, a lot of the greatness that past wrestling games have had, past WWE, WWF games, call them what you will. And, it really feels like they've really cut back on a lot of entertaining features and things with the controls. Things have been going backwards as far as wrestling games goes. So right now I would like to take the time to take you back into the past a little bit and talk about some of them old school wrestling games. So I compiled a list. I want to do like some wrestling game talk here as of late, because this is, a lot of people seem like they enjoy talking more about digital wrestling than they do about actual real life wrestling at times. Maybe it's because the product's so shitty, or maybe it's because people are just fucking obsessed with fucking video games. I don't know which one it is, but whatever the case may be, I am going to talk about some of my favorite wrestling games. And here's my top 5. I'm going to start off at number 5. WWF War Zone. This game may surprise a lot of people that it's on my list, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why it is. First of all, I had a lot of fucking fun with this game. Whether it's the PlayStation or the N64, I played on both consoles. And this game, it introduced a lot of innovation into wrestling games. Wrestling games really hadn't seen a lot of, new stuff as of late. This was Acclaim. THQ just started up with, AKI doing their, the games that are pretty legendary. You got WCW, NWO World Tour. And that game introduced a brand new type of control scheme that would actually be used in a couple of other games. But Warzone was made by Acclaim, the same developer that made Mortal Kombat. And you could kind of see that a bit with the Mortal Kombat, the way how the controls were designed. They weren't as complicated as, say, Mortal Kombat, but they had the same type of, well, in a way they kind of were. You would press up, down, and then you would, hit either punch or kick or grapple. Punch, kick were separate buttons, which was very different than, say, the THQ games, But this game had a whole different type of control scheme that was almost similar to a fighting game. But that wasn't really bad for the time. Later on, as this type of control scheme was introduced into later games, it got kind of tiresome. But at this point in time, it was new, and I really didn't mind it as much. And I even went back to this game, well, it was actually a while ago, but, a couple of years after the game was released. And I still found a lot of entertainment from it. One of the things where this game definitely deserves to be on the list is that it is the first game to introduce Create a Wrestler. Customizing your own fucking wrestler. This was a concept that was new to any game. This game introduced creating a character, creating how it looked, actually giving you the tools to make a person, a digital wrestler, make your own fucking wrestler. You could make his face look any way you wanted it to, make him dress any way you wanted him to. This was a unique concept. Now, you couldn't assign individual moves. All you could do was give him another wrestler's moves. But for the time, this was the first of its kind. And for that alone, it deserves credit. It deserves to be on this list. And also, one thing about this game is that it looked way fucking better than any fucking wrestling game before it. Well, you had WCW NWO World Tour. That game, though it had better controls, the graphics were a lot shittier. They were blocky. They didn't focus on the graphics too much. The likenesses of the wrestlers were totally off. You look at a character like Ric Flair in that game, and he doesn't even look like Ric Flair. Here, Stone Cold looked like Stone Cold. That's the other thing. The roster was just great. It was very outdated. You still had Bret Hart in there, but you had Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Kane. You had all three faces of Foley in there. You had to unlock the other two faces, but you started off with Mankind. It was also their first game to introduce the steel cage match. You had, it was a really fucking good game. And this game had some of the best commentary I ever heard. Vince McMahon and Jim Ross. Um, what a great set of commentary they put onto this game. Actually, like talking about the match, and it didn't even sound like segmented, like it was just like pre-recorded. It actually, like, really fit the game well. It fit the matches you were having very well. The one problem I remember the N64 had is that it didn't say the names of the moves. It also had more lines of commentary. PlayStation, no problem with the audio. You had all the lines of commentary. They said all the moves. It was great. So the commentary was just fucking excellent in this fucking game. You really couldn't go wrong with it. I mean, it was just fucking fantastic. And I don't understand. How come they can't accomplish the same thing? What was it? Acclaim was the only ones who could put together a decent commentary track? It really makes no fucking sense at all that it was previously at. Then at number 4, you have Here Comes the Pain. I talked about this game
quite extensively in my 2K15 video. You had a great sense of the product in this game. Great storylines. Great everything in this game. Great graphics. It was really a true tour de force. I know this sounds kind of weird with the answer machine going off in the background, but hey, I'll get that call later. They're talking about wrestling games now. But anyway, this game really had the best story mode I ever saw in the game. Forget about everything else is going to be on this list. This was the best story mode by far. It didn't get any better than this. I mean, the story mode was incredible. You could choose your path. Multiple paths. This game had replay value up the fucking ass, motherfuckers. It really did. I mean, you could go through this game. You could have multiple paths, it was just really just a fun fucking game. You could just play this and not get bored. They also had modified the control system from previous games. They would also build off of this in later games in the SmackDown series. But Here Comes the Pain. It really started to change things. It started to get away from the arcadiness of the past games. Not that the other SmackDown games were bad. They were fun. But this definitely changed fucking things. And it's really, I can't even stress how much that story mode was. It was well written and it was fun. And it's definitely something that should be implemented into the to future games. I mean, why can't they do shit like this, if anything? They could really, really have a lot of fucking fun with the story mode. But they don't want it. Why, as game developers, would you not want to have fun with your own product and the source material available to you? I mean, you could really do a fantastic job if you wanted to. You could really make this game shine. You can make your game shine and like really just have fun. Just give the players lots of choices, a lot of unique twists and turns. There's really no fucking reason why you can't do that. They're just going to go on and on with the same fucking shit. And, it's just a real shame because there is potential to have better story modes in a wrestling game. Then at number 3, you have WCW Revenge. Now, I know I just talked about the story mode, but now I want to talk about gameplay and just overall fun factor. WCW Revenge is beyond a great game. This was a game that I can't even tell you. I used to play this game with my dad even, and he loved it. How many matches did I play against friends? I remember going downstairs to my neighbor's house and just playing the fuck out of this game with them. I had my own copy. He had his own copy. And we would just So much fun. The game had a massive fucking roster, and it improved on every little, thing that WCW World Tour didn't get done right the first time. This was all about the gameplay, and it just had such a fun way about it. Just the style, it was incredible. The way how this game was put together, the controls were just, there wasn't a better way that you could go about the controls. It was that great. Also, you could edit the attires. You couldn't create your own wrestlers. But I remember making Fit Finlay into Ric Flair by giving him red tights. So, there was just so much. You could spend hours just fucking editing the colors on the wrestlers' tights. I used to do it. And when you're young and you got all the time in the world, you just fucking waste a bunch of fucking time doing that. So that was definitely a memory I have of that game. There was just the intro to this game. You turn this game on, you see the fucking intro, and it just fucking rips your fucking balls right off your fucking groin right there. I mean, holy fucking shit. This game comes on very badass, like with Sting standing in front of a fucking tractor trailer. And then you just get some of the best gameplay ever. Now, as far as story mode, it's non-existent. I mean, there's no story mode. You just pick a championship belt you want to go for. You go for it, and you wrestle 9 matches, and then you win the belt. And that's about it. So that's a bit disappointing. Anyway, that would start the long road to a bunch of other great games. And hey, look at number 2. WWF WrestleMania 2000. This game just took everything that was fantastic about fucking WCW Revenge and multiplied it by fucking 10, 20, 30. It had the creator wrestler mode. You could edit the attires. It introduced very, very low quality Titantron videos and music. See, that was a great thing. Even though, you had a lot of great presentation, WCW Revenge didn't have any of the music to any of the wrestlers. It just had generic fucking themes. So this game gave you that. It gave you the presentation. It gave you everything that you could possibly want, from, a sound perspective. Even though a lot of the themes were very low quality in this game, it definitely helped as far as the game goes and its production values. Once again, this game had the same problem, blocky heads for the wrestlers. Some of the likenesses were off, but damn, this game was fun. Story mode, they tried to put a little bit of story into it. There wasn't much there. But, it was a lot more fun than Revenge. It was, there was more variety in the matches. They would put you in different match types at least. And this game, the controls just speak for themselves. And also what I loved is that it removed a fucking bug that pissed me off about Revenge. Did you know that in WCW Revenge, that you could kick out of anything just by moving the analog stick? Yeah, you could. I'm not sure if you guys knew that, but it used to drive me nuts. Because once my friends found out that you could do that, they were doing it all the fucking time. And that just pretty much ruined the game for me. I mean, because when you could just kick out at any time and it's that simple, what's keeping people from kicking out? So that ruined a lot of our fucking little hangouts, to say the very least. But, what WrestleMania 2000 did, actually, if you moved the stick, you'd actually stay in the pin longer, which was actually a nice little touch. Then at number 1, my favorite wrestling game of all time, WWF No Mercy. Folks, I think it's quite obvious. Things are not going to get better than No Mercy. This game just took everything from Revenge, took everything from WWF No Mercy, and made it 100 times better. The ladder match, the steel cage match, you had the survivor mode, or whatever the fuck it was called, survival. I can't even tell you how many fucking times I did that mode. So much fucking fun. And a story mode that actually had dialogue in it, like a full fucking story mode. Multiple paths to unlock stuff. This game, also the Create a Wrestler, this game just went above and beyond. It went above and beyond. The only thing that it took away that WWF WrestleMania 2000 had was the fucking creative belt. But that was excused. The only thing that was bad about this game was that, well, I didn't get this on my game, but your controller pack would get corrupted sometimes with this game, which was pretty fucking unfortunate. The glitch was, it was pretty fucked up. It used to erase people's data, and yeah, that was pretty fucking shitty. But then again, WWF Attitude had the same game, had the same glitch in that game. I remember my friend had to return his copy of the game and get a new one because of it at the time. It was a pretty fucking shitty ass. But I forget if it was with the controller pack or with the cartridge itself. I think it was when you use the controller pack in accordance with the game. But I kind of forget that. But yeah, this it goes beyond. Now the likenesses of the wrestlers got even fucking worse from that. In WrestleMania 2000. The Rock looked horrendous. Triple H looked like some kind of fucking mutated pig. But aside from that, the gameplay was just fucking ace, motherfuckers. People still play this game to this day. Think about it. Do you go back and play, SmackDown versus Raw 2008 or 2007? Very few people do. But many people bring out their N64s or their emulators and they play WrestleMania, WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy. Most people play No Mercy. It's just a game that I think it's also transcended the generations too. People from last generation are even fucking playing this game. It's just a really, really fun fucking game with a great likeness for the product, and it's just, you got a story mode, a great creative wrestler. It's the full fucking package, motherfuckers. So there you go. There's my top 5 favorite wrestling games. I'm thinking about doing my least 5 favorite wrestling games of all time. That would also be pretty entertaining to do on here. So until then, that's all, motherfuckers.